Hello and welcome back. This is an Algebra 1 video, which will be talking and focusing on evaluating expressions with rational numbers. Okay, so as a reminder, rational numbers are positive and negative decimals and fractions. Okay, so that's what we're evaluating and focusing on today. Now we're given an expression. Expressions are algebraic things that involve variables, but they don't have equal signs. So therefore, since this does not have an equal sign, we cannot solve for p. But what we can do is if we're given a value of p, we can substitute that in to figure out then what the expression would be equal to if p was equal to that value that we were given. So what that means is we're going to take the given value of p right here, where it says p is equal to negative 1.6, and we're going to substitute that into the expression where we see the p in the expression. So I'm going to rewrite what we have so far. The expression says 13 plus 5.7. Now it says 5.7p, which means 5.7 times p. So I'm going to put times here and then the p right here. So now what I can do is I can go ahead and substitute our given value of p in for the variable. So I'm going to take this number and then I'm going to erase the p as well. And I'm going to substitute that right there into negative 1.6. So now I have an expression that's got multiple operations, which means I need to follow the order of operations. And if you're not sure what the order of operations is and you're a little bit rusty on it, please see some of my other videos where I describe that in more detail. So that means according to order of operations, we're going to be doing the multiplication first. So we need to do 5.7 times negative 1.6. And again, you're not going to see me doing a lot of calculating and doing these calculations by hand so much because I do dive deep into how we do that in other videos. So if you're feeling a little rusty on that, see some of my previous videos on that as well. But I am going to do the 5.7 times the negative 1.6 first. And what that gives me is a negative 859.2. Okay, I'm going to double check that because that just doesn't seem right. Let's try that again. 5.7 times 1.6 negative. Oh yeah, that was way off, way off. Okay, now let's try it this way. Instead, I got negative 9.12. Okay, so now I'm going to bring down that 13 plus and put that right here. So my last step is to add 13 plus a negative 9.12. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add 13 to that, and I end up with a positive 3.88. So when I evaluate the expression, that is what my answer would be. Okay, here is our next one. Our expression says w plus 0.9, and they want us to evaluate it when w is equal to negative 8.9. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the expression. I'm going to put w plus 0.9. Then I'm going to replace the w and substitute in, so let me erase that, and substitute in the value of w that they gave us, which is negative 8.9. Okay, so now since there's only one operation left here to do, I just have to take negative 8.9 and add 0.9. So let me do that real quick. Let's see, plus 0.9. Okay, that gives me negative 8. Again, you're not going to see me do a lot of these calculations by hand for this video because I do have other videos that dive deeper into that. So if you're feeling a little rusty there, go ahead and check out those other videos. When this evaluation or when this expression is evaluated for that given value, your answer should be negative 8. Okay, here is our next one. Our expression is v divided by v plus 4, and we're going to evaluate it when v is equal to negative 8. So I'm going to rewrite the expression as v divided by v plus 4. Now, I wrote it this way because a lot of times in algebra, we see division written like a fraction. So this might be the way that you see it written the most often. So I'm going to go ahead and replace both v's with the negative 8, or the value we were given for 8. So I'm going to take that top v and replace it with negative 8. Then I'm going to take that bottom v and replace it with negative 8. Okay, so to keep evaluating this, I still have to use order of operations, right? So that means, in this case, what I might do instead is I might evaluate the bottom first, -8 plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave the -8 on top, but -8 plus 4 on the bottom would give me -4. Okay, so now I've got two negatives, one on top of the other, and I know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I know that my answer is going to be +8 over +4. Then 8 over 4, or 8 divided by 4, is equal to 2. So this would be my final evaluation for this expression. When v is equal to -8, the expression is equal to 2. Okay, here is our next one. And in this one, we have multiple variables to evaluate or substitute in. So I'm going to rewrite the expression as 18 divided by g times h minus j. Now I'm going to start doing my substituting. For g, I'm going to substitute in -12. So this is going to be -12 over here. And there's a times in between there. When we have gh next to each other, that's g times h. I'm going to replace h with 1. And then I'm going to replace j with 6. So this is what I really have. I have 18 over -12 times 1 minus 6. So on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and use order of operations to figure out what all those expressions on the bottom are equal to, which means I would be doing the multiplication first. -12 times 1 is -12. And then I still have to subtract 6. When I do that, -12 minus 6 is equal to -18. So I'm going to rewrite this as 18 over -18. So when I take 18 and divide it by a -18, I should end up with -1. So after this has been evaluated, the answer should be -1. Okay, here is our last example for today. We're going to evaluate this expression, 5.4 times 28 minus k, when k is equal to 32.1. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it as 5.4. Now, when you don't have anything in between a number outside the parentheses and an expression inside the parentheses, that means to multiply. So I know this is times everything inside the parentheses, 28 minus k. So I'm going to go ahead and replace k and substitute in 32.1, and then go ahead and continue from there. Using order of operations, I would have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So I'm going to take 28 and subtract 32.1, which would give me -4.1. So this becomes 5.4 times, oops, I'm going to erase that dot right there, -4.1. So since that's the last thing I have to do, I'm going to go ahead and calculate that. And it should end up with -22.14. All right, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.